Okay, here we are. The purpose of this demo is to show that this Fluent Interop framework can install a hardware interrupt handler on the firmware side and that it can actually work. So this program has three moving parts. Moving part number one is a C# program that's calculating primes, and you can see it's kind of churning away on the screen there. I've got a 1-second delay between printouts just so I don't overwhelm this demo. The second part is an interrupt service handler that I've installed, that I've compiled with this framework and dynamically installed on the firmware side, and that is just sitting there waiting for a button interrupt so that it can turn on the onboard LED. And the third part is a little thread whose job it is to actually hold onto a fixed block so that the garbage collector doesn't move that handler, and also to monitor a shared variable, which is a count, which is the number of interrupts that the interrupt service handler has received on the firmware side. And when that count reaches 30, it will uninstall itself and kind of move on. So, there's at this point, there's not much to show. Here on the screen, we're up to 359. And if I press the button, we will see the light comes on, beep, 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 which is showing that this wouldn't be all that remarkable except for the fact that the firmware was built by my system, installed on the firmware side, and is working without blowing up the system. So you can see the prime numbers are still being generated. Everything is working just fine. And if I press this just a few more times, where we're at count 22. Press it just a few more times, then it will stop, and the firmware will uninstall itself, but the other thread just kind of keeps running, and there you are.